How do we know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John actually wrote the Gospels, since they never actually say, I, Matthew, am writing this? And yes, internally, the Gospels are actually anonymous. But for 2,000 years, the church has never argued about this. And externally, we have a rock solid chain. We start off with Ignatius, who was a disciple of Polycarp, and those two being two early church fathers were discipled by John the son of Zebedee, who was discipled by Jesus Christ himself. And they confirm Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the authors of the Gospels. We also have Mark and Luke, who are unknown and only famous because they wrote the Gospels. And it would make no sense for the church to invent unknown names if it was just a fabrication. Now we also have Matthew and John, who were eyewitnesses of the life of Jesus Christ and would have recorded what Christ did and said. So for centuries, Christians have trusted an unbroken chain and an unbroken testimony. No random guesses, just faithful eyewitness reports.
The fact that the early church fathers never argued about the gospel writers doesn't mean they are credible. But I am not surprised because in Christianity, the church fathers has the right to declare what remains and what goes out of the Bible. That is by the way. According to the book of Matthew, chapter 9, verse 9, Jesus saw a man sitting at the tax collector's office called Matthew, and he told him, follow me, and he followed him. Now, here is the question. Was Matthew the one reporting here? No, because Matthew cannot be reporting and his name to be seen in the statement. Because going by the context of the verse, the person reporting in the Gospel of Matthew was saying that Jesus saw a man called Matthew at the tax collector's office and he told him to follow him. Mind you, if Matthew was the one reporting here, the statement would have been, and Jesus saw me at the tax collector's office and asked me to follow him, and I followed him. But the statement wasn't made in that manner. So Matthew wasn't the one. Matthew wasn't the one reporting here, making us to declare that Matthew wasn't the one who actually wrote the Gospel of Matthew. Mark and Luke were not the disciples of Jesus and were not eyewitnesses. That is a fact. Moving on to the Gospel of John. Mind you, John was at his 30s when Jesus died according to the Bible. But the Gospel of John was written between 90 to 100 years after the death of Jesus. If the death and the resurrection of Jesus was the most important thing John had encountered in his life, why then has he waited till when he was at the age of 120, old, tired, and brain faded, before he writes down the most important encounter of his life?